Okay. So here, already in Material Master, you have selected a valuation class. Valuation class definition is for that valuation class which GL accounts are there, then that material value will post to that valuation class GL accounts. But for material movement type, goods receives purchase order into store, then for the material, stock value will increase. But with 101 movement type, you are posting transactions for material, then stock increase, then that stock value also has to increase. Then 101 movement type triggers some keys. So here for movement type in background, one valuation string will be there. In that valuation string, where transaction keys are there. So for every material movement, some group of GL accounts has to trigger, then to post values into some group of GL accounts. So movement type and the quantity update, value update checkbox combination, and movement type, quantity update, value update checkbox combination. It will trigger one valuation string. In that valuation string, already transaction keys are assigned in background. Then the transaction keys will trigger. Then for every transaction key and this valuation class combination, what GL accounts are assigned, that GL accounts will hit. But here, which GL accounts we have to trigger means in MIGO for materials with some movement type, you are entering GR or GI in some plant. Then already your plant assigned to some valuation grouping code. Then for valuation grouping code level, this GL account will assign for every material movement valuation class and transaction keys combination. In this valuation grouping code, what GL account is assigned, that GL account is applicable to the valuation grouping code all plants. So in MIGO, your plant is there, the plant which company code, to that company code what chart of account is there. In that chart of account, this company code GL accounts are there. Then in this chart of account, already plants are grouped into valuation grouping code. So in this chart of account, at valuation grouping code level, for every moment type transaction key, for every valuation class material, GL accounts are assigned. That GL accounts will trigger. It means whenever GR you are entering, GA you are entering, first movement type is what? If movement type triggers transaction keys. For movement type, transaction keys are there. And for some movement type, for some transaction keys, account modifiers also will trigger. In case no account modifier, directly GL accounts you have to assign OBOC for movement type transaction keys. But for every transaction key, in one chart of account, what GL accounts for a BSX, in different chart of account, what GL account you have to enter. So in chart of account INT, suppose for valuation grouping code 0001 all plants, for valuation class 3000 any material, in which GL account you have to show the entries. So you assign for transaction keys, chart of account, valuation grouping code and valuation class combination, you assign the GL accounts. Suppose for same stock posting, in the same chart of account, in the same valuation grouping code plants, but for steel items, I want to see in this GL account. For metal items, I want to see in different GL account. Then you create one valuation class for steel item, assign that valuation class to steel materials. You create one more valuation class for metals, assign this valuation class in all metal materials in Metal Master. So for this valuation class materials, one GL account, for another valuation class GL account, different GL accounts. But whenever in BSX GL account amount is debit, then you have to show same amount again as credit. But in GR, we don't allow that amount. Actually, we have to credit to vendor. But in GR itself, we don't show material value as credit in vendor account. Then introduce temporarily again WRX transaction key also triggers with 101. Then this transaction key is to post value as credit temporarily in GR/IR GL account. So you create one GL account number with the description as GR/IR clearing account with the proper settings. Now for movement type 101, WRX also triggers. Then in chart of account INT, for valuation grouping code 000, okay, and for so-and-so valuation class, what is the GL account? But it is a temporary GL account. Then in chart of account INT, for any valuation grouping code, for any valuation class, I want same GL account. Then I'll assign GL account without any valuation grouping code and without any valuation class. That is for all valuation grouping code and for all valuation class materials. Okay. Suppose if I enter goods issue, then stock decrease. If I enter goods issue to cost center, stock decrease. Then again stock value has to decrease. Then with 201 movement type, again BSX only will trigger because stock has to decrease. Then in BSX GL account, already 1000 rupees value is there at the time of GR plus 1000. But in that 2 piece you issued 100 rupees per piece. Then again in the BSX, in the same GL account, through 201 movement type, again BSX triggers through 201 also. Then in BSX GL account, 3 lakh GL account, 200 rupees will minus. It means in 1000 rupees, 200 rupees will minus. So in the accounting document with 201, in BSX GL account, 200 rupees minus INR, and opposite consumption value has to increase. When you issue from store to cost center, again material consumption value will increase. Then again it will trigger a 201 movement type, transaction key BSX opposite for 201 GBB, but GBB triggers again account modifier also triggers. Then again with the transaction key GBB, in OBVC for transaction key GBB, in chart of account INT, for this valuation code plans, if VBR triggers for this transaction key based on movement type, for some movement types for GBB one account modifier, for different movement types for GBB different account modifier, then for VBR account modifier for this valuation class materials, what is the consumption GL account? Then in that GL account 4 lakh, it will post 200 rupees plus. Means these GL accounts will assign OBYC. Now later, whenever GR entering, in GR it will see what is the material, and for material valuation class assigned based on material type, selection MM01. In accounting view, valuation class list will come. Anyone valuation class is selected. So in GR, your material picks valuation class or in MIGO, and your movement type picks transaction keys, and in MIGO your plant picks valuation grouping code, and in MIGO your plant company code picks chart of account. But for that transaction key and account modifier are only transaction key, and for that valuation grouping code and chart of account and valuation class combination which GL accounts are assigned, that GL accounts will hit. Okay, that is the account determination. Right, ING settings. SPRO.
Here valuation type, where valuation type comes, sir?
No valuation, where valuation type will not come, valuation class one. Material management. Valuation account assignment. So this entire valuation account assignment is MM and FI integration. Account determination. See, account determination wizard is there, account determination without wizard. We'll see first without wizard. Account determination without wizard. Define valuation control. Enter. Next. Valuation grouping code active, valuation grouping code not active, write both, tick mark for active. If valuation grouping code not active, then you cannot assign valuation areas or plans, you cannot assign to valuation grouping code. Suppose this checkbox is selected, it will not open this screen to group the valuation areas or plans to valuation grouping code. This screen will not open. Means in chart of account INT, for example, your chart of account something, in that chart of account, how many plans are there? For any plant, you cannot assign valuation grouping code, so that you have to assign For every transaction key, you have to assign GL accounts without valuation grouping code. You have to assign GL accounts without valuation grouping code column will not see. Valuation grouping code blank combination, you have to assign GL accounts for every transaction key. But in same chart of account INT, we have multiple valuation areas or plans, but we want in the same chart of account again for some group of plans, GL account assignment different, for different group of plans, different GL accounts are required. Then you select valuation grouping code active so that it will open the screen, group together valuation areas. Then for company code, chart of account assigns in FI module. Then in your company code, how many valuation areas are there? Valuation area here, plant Y. In enterprise structure, valuation area acted as plant. Now in one company code, chart of account YCOA. Now in that chart of account YCOA, it is assigned to multiple company codes. Then in chart of account YCOA, how many valuation areas are there? In all that valuation areas, I can assign, okay, some valuation areas to same valuation grouping code 0001 and different valuation areas. Again, you can assign to different valuation grouping code like that. Right up. Back to MG. Next time, group together valuation areas. Enter. Keyboard OM WD. In same chart of account, for which valuation areas in bracket plants. Similar account determination is required. Assign those valuation areas to same valuation grouping code. And later, account determination will configure at valuation grouping code level. And that will applicable to all valuation areas in bracket plans, to all valuation areas of that valuation grouping code. In case your valuation area or plant not assigned to valuation grouping code, then for every transaction key, valuation grouping code column plant combination, we have to assign GL accounts. Right on valuation area in bracket plant, right columns, company code, chart of account, valuation grouping code. So FI people assigns for every company code chart of account, then that company code GL accounts will group in that chart of account. Suppose you write 4478, it is in 4477 company code, chart of accounts YCOA. Suppose I want for these three valuation areas or plants in the same chart of account, same GL account assignment for every transaction key, that will applicable to all the three plants. Then assign these three valuation areas to same valuation grouping code. But within the company code, for these two plants, I want different GL account assignment. Then to these two plants assign valuation grouping codes 4444. But to other plant, different GL account assignment. Then assigned to other plant, different valuation grouping code also. Suppose in the same chart of account YCOA, again we have one more company code. Let's take, for example, double 5577. But it is also required, though it is different company code, chart of account is same. I can still assign same 4444. Okay. Write down. Double 4478, 4479, 4480. Company code 4477, 4477, 4444. Any 4-digit code, alphabetic or numeric. You write 5577 company code plans also. You may assign to same valuation company code. Suppose you take here one more company code also same chart of account, but I can assign in this chart of account for different valuation areas, I want different GL accounts as to assign to transaction fees. Then assign it. But different chart of account valuation areas don't assign to same valuation code. If any valuation area is different chart of account, assign those to different GL accounts. Suppose different chart of account, then assign to different values. It won't stop you. If you assign again for different chart of account also 4444, it will allow, but discrepancy will come. Save. Back to AMG. Define valuation classes. Enter. OMSK. Click account category reference button. Account category reference. Groups. Valuation classes together. Please stop. Account category reference already exists here. And we can define new account category reference also. So we are creating next string valuation classes, but for some material type, valuation class 3000, 3001, 3002 has to assign. Then you create one account category reference, some 0001 for raw materials. In next screen, you create with the new entry valuation classes. So here, to that account, these three valuation classes we define and assign to same account category reference, 001. Now I want these three valuation class. Okay, these three valuation class I want for raw material. Then assign this 001 account category reference to the material type ROH. To the material type ROH, assign this account reference. Now in MM01 material number creating with this material type, in accounting view, account reference 001, all the three valuation classes will come. But same valuation class I want for one more material type. Then again you can assign to another material type also. Same account reference means How valuation classes appearing in Metal Master means your metal creating with what metal type, and that metal type here assigns to which account carrier reference, and to that account carrier reference which valuation classes are assigned, that valuation classes will come. But for raw materials, I want some group of GL account. Then for raw materials, one account carrier reference. For that account carrier reference, you assign valuation class. Later, you select some valuation classes for ROH some materials, some other valuation classes for ROH metal type for some other materials. Later, that valuation class GL accounts will refer to that materials. For spare parts, some valuation classes. For packaging materials, different valuation class GL accounts. For trading materials, different valuation class GL accounts. For semi-finished product, different valuation class GL accounts like that you want. Then first you create for semi-finished product separate account carrier reference. For finished product, separate account carrier reference. Later, you assign for each account carrier reference different valuation classes. Later, assign this account carrier reference to material type. We have already existing, but you can create new also. The new entry. Account carrier reference one column. Assume you create a new material type. Back to AMC or back. Click valuation class button. New entries. Valuation class one column. Account category reference one column. Description one column. Valuation class description one column. So I am creating one valuation class. Assigning to account category reference. Suppose it is for steels. One more valuation class. Maybe metals. Title 4000, 4001. Account carrier reference. I want these two valuation class to my metal type ZOH. Then first assign these two valuation class to account carrier reference Y001. Now Y001 account carrier reference assigns to material type ZOH. Save. So account carrier reference group the valuation classes together. Here, one valuation class assigns to one account category reference only. One account category reference only. But one account category reference and assigns to multiple valuation class. Next back. Click material type slash account category reference. Click material type slash account category reference button. And whenever this kind of buttons are there, you write description and put the box. Here no new entry. All your metal types list will come. can see for some material types, account reference 001. Okay, write down material type at column, account category some column, write ROH 001, HALB 008, AVA 005, FPRT 009. But we defined assume our own metal type ZOH. Now for ZOH, copy it from ROH. ROH account care reference values and classes will come, but I want different values in class. Then sign your ZOH 500. Even I want for other metal type also, same values in class, assign ZOH1 501. But can you assign for ZOH one more account care reference here? Because in change mode, no new entry means you can switch from change to display or display to change. But in display mode, no new entry. In change mode also, no new entry. Now you cannot assign repeat again ZOH to one more account care reference. But one account care reference you can assign to multiple metal types. Right now. Note. One metal type assigns to one account category reference only. But one account category reference can assign to multiple material types. That means I want same GL accounts for both the material type materials. Then I can assign same values in classes to both the material types via same account category reference. Okay. Save. Back to AMG. Define account grouping for movement types. Enter. Equal OMWM. Here for each movement type, comma, special start for each movement type, for here for movement type, comma, here for movement type, comma, value update, comma, quantity update, comma, movement indicator, etc. combination. Evaluation string is assigned. And that valuation string and this valuation string triggers group of transaction keys. And for the transaction keys, which GL accounts are assigned, which GL accounts will assign, those GL accounts will determine during GRR, GA, etc. stop. For some transaction keys, in bracket GVV, comma, in bracket GVV, comma, PRT, comma, KON, close the bracket. For some transaction keys, account modifiers also assigns here. Account modifiers also assigns here. Then the transaction keys and account modifier combination. Then the transaction keys and account modifiers combination. Which GL accounts are assigned. Those GL accounts will determine. Right, movement type one column. Special stock one column. Value update. Quantity update. Movement indicator. Consumption. Value string. Transaction key. Account modifier. So, if you see in material type customization, quantity update, value update may not select. Okay. So, if you see here, your material is posting with 101, but not special stock. But material created with what material type? In material type OMS2, quantity update, value update is selected. And goods movement is purchase order, GR for purchase order. 101 GR for purchase order, 101 GR for production order also. But 101 entering in MIGO GR with reference to purchase order. But purchase order item you may receive into store or you directly consume. But in PO item row, account estimate category blank means consumption posting, stock posting. In PO item row, account estimate category is there, consumption posting. Assume GR entering with reference to PO, then 101, and in GR what material is there? That material type having quantity update, value update. Quantity update means that GR stock will increase in the store. Value update means material value will be posted into inventory account, not consumption account. And consumption purchase order, goods movement for purchase order is entering. Sometimes goods movement for production order also. But in PO item row, account estimate category blank means stock, not for consumption. It won't consume. It will. Okay. Then with that combination, first it will trigger valuation string WE01. Okay. But this valuation string, again, will have some group of transaction keys. So with many combination, I can assign same W01. W01, somewhere also I can assign. But for valuation string, already what same transactions are there, then the transaction is only with many combination also you can hit. Write an example, 101, checkbox tick mark, special stock blank means one stock, checkbox tick mark, movement indicator B, consumption posting blank, WE01. Next step, you also write 101, same. Now special quantity update, value update, movement indicator F, WF01, etc. select row, select any row and click detail button. Here observe triggering transactions, triggering group of transaction keys. With above combination. Suppose with production order, FGR for production order with 101. But here transaction keys, but for any with any movement type, GBB transaction key triggers, account modifier also triggers. Okay. For PRD also account modifier will trigger. But with the purchase order process, though PRD triggers, but no account modifier. So it's not clear. Suppose 201 movement type, goods issued to cost center, not from special stock, but material number is there. That material number in OMS2 created with one material type, and in OMS2 further material type, assume quantity update is there, then only stock will issue. Quantity update is there means quantity will update in the storage location level, decrease, and value update is there means your inventory value will update, means will BS6 stock value will decrease because it is issuing. But with this 201, for this quantity update value update material, issuing from own stock, and goods movement is without any reference, no PO, no production order, nothing is there. Okay, and here it is okay from stock only consuming. Okay, with all that combination, one value is in string WA01. See this WA01, you may assign to many combinations here with different combination. But for how many combinations, same transaction keys you want, then same value string assigns to that combination. Suppose 201 and detail. Here, when goods issue enter, then your quantity will decrease in the storage location MMB in the plant. Whenever in the plant total stock decreases, quantity decreases, then the inventory value also should decrease. Then it is relevant to trigger BS6 transaction key. Then in BS6 GL account already stock value 1000 rupees is there, but you enter 200 rupees value of the material, GA entered, then 200 rupees will minus, and opposite consumption GL account value has to increase. Then GBB, but GBB triggers with many movement types. Then I want to see for one movement type, GBB one GL account, for different movement type, for GBB different GL account, then you introduce account modifier. Now for 201 movement type, GBB and account modifier will trigger. For that combination, I'll assign GL account 4 lakh. But if my material consumed in subcontracting process or subcontractor, not internally, then 543 O moment type, special stock. If my special stock consumed for this quantity value of date material, my special stock consumed at subcontractor, then PSX stock value will decrease. Again opposite GBV, but GBV again aside different account modifier VBO. Then for any movement type, GBV triggers again account modifier. But for this movement type, for GBV, I assign account modifier VBO. Now for GBV and VBO, I will assign GL account number some 5 lakh. And that 201 movement type for GBV, VBR, then GBV, VBR, I assign GL account number 4 lakh. Description of GL account as internal conjunction. But for 543 O movement type, if GBV triggers different account modifier VBO. But for GBV VBO combination, I will assign GL account number 5 lakh. Then 5 lakh GL account number description I will enter as conjunction at subcontractor. It means the purpose of account modifier is for same opposite entry, PSX opposite entry, GBV. Name of the GBV is what? Opposite entry for inventory posting. But for same GBV, based on movement type, I want to see different GL accounts. PSX opposite value, I want to differentiate in different GL accounts based on movement type. Then PSX opposite except PO, GR for PO, remaining all PSX opposite GBV. But GBV value for one movement type in GBV, one GL account, for different movement type, different GBV GL account. Then introduce account modifier for GBV. For every movement type, again introduce account modifier. Now for each movement type, for GBV and each for every movement type different account modifier, then assign GL account transaction key account modifier combination. So the purpose of account modifier to differentiate inventory opposite values into different GL accounts. Okay, like that you can see. But here list is given. If you click here, this IMG documentation, here also you can see GBV triggers with any movement type as opposite to PSX. Again GBV triggering account modifier. So these are the stock posting opposite is GBV, opposite entry for stock posting. Okay, these are dependent on the account grouping to which the movement type is assigned. So for your movement type, what account grouping code you assign for GBV, that GL accounts will trigger. So the below account grouping codes or account modifiers are only assigned in the transaction in GBV. These are all there. But here, no new entry. You are in change mode. Means you cannot create new value system, new value transaction. These are grayed out. But the account modifier column only coming edit mode. You can still edit the account modifier. You don't want VBO, ZBO. You can change. Then again for GBV, ZBO, what GL account is there, that GL account will hit. Note. Here it is not possible to create new transaction keys and new value string. To stop it requires, we can edit account modifiers only. Account modifiers only. Next. Following are account modifiers. For transaction key, GBV. Okay, I listed already that configuration. So write down AUA hyphen for order settlement. Means what? If you enter GR with reference to production order with 101 moment type, then GBB triggers, account modifier AVA triggers. In bracket 101 moment type with reference to production order. AUF hyphen for GR for production order. For GR with reference to production order. In bracket without account assignment. It is with account assignment. It is without account assignment. Next. These are all not important. You write PSA hyphen for initial entry of stock balances. So with 561 stock will increase. GR initially uploading existing physical stock, but in system that stock is not there because material created first time, but already stock is there in the warehouse physically, which is purchased or produced by old ERP, but in new SAP system, 0 piece is showing in the system. Then again you have to enter GR for the same physical quantity, logically GR. That is stock we have to upload in the system. Physically how much is there that for that quantity. Then 561. With 561 stock will increase in the plant in the store. Then BSX stock value will increase with 561. But opposite is for 561 BSX opposite GBB. But GBB again triggers account modifier BSA. Then in this GBB BSA combination you assign GL account number. In that GL account number it will show opposite entry. But if you reverse that, then 562. But this is for unrestricted. 563, 564 quality. 565, 556 means with all these movement types GBB and BSA. But I want to edit then for 563 quality inspection for GBB I can edit ZSA. 556, 563, 564, 550, 565 initial upload for black stock and reverse is 566. But for that I can assign different account modifier. I told you account modifier still you can edit. Maybe YSA like that. But stock type wise I don't want different GL accounts. Material is in any stock type. I want to see BSX opposite value in same GL account. Then for all these movement types, same account modifier, etc. So no need to write everyone right now. I am forwarding this file. Okay, you just write in your notes. Important. In the interview they will ask for movement types. What are the account modifiers? Will hit. Okay, we will see tomorrow.